Finding 2 by 2 determinants. Finding determinants involves a little bit of visual work, and sometimes it's good to use highlighters to just make sure that we know what we're doing. We want to go with the main diagonal, which starts at the top left and goes to the bottom right. And then we want to follow up with the diagonal that goes from the bottom left to the top right. So first off, let's take this and we'll say that these two numbers here will be multiplied together and we'll place the product here. Then we'll take these two numbers and we'll move way over to the right. This is the procedure. Don't get this backwards. This is the procedure, is to start with the main diagonal, top left, bottom right, place the product here. Then take the bottom left and top right, multiply those numbers together, push them way over to the right-hand side, and in between is always subtraction as the operation. So let's go ahead, and what we would do is A times D is A times D, and C times B is C times B or B times C. Either way is fine. And then we would subtract, and our answer would be, in this case, just algebraically, AD minus BC. Of course, when we work with numbers, we'll be able to get a single number out of this. So let's take a look. All right, here is our problem, and as just described a second ago, top left to bottom right, and the product is going to go here. Then we're going to do bottom left to top right, way over here, and in between we have subtraction. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 2 minus 3. You've borrowed $2 and you borrow 3 more, and that's going to be equal to negative 5. So let's take a look and see if we have the right answer. And yes, we do. Great. Move on to the next problem. This is another 2 by 2, so it's easy enough to remember the procedure. Go top left to bottom right and place the product there. Then bottom left to top right, fly way over the negative sign, place the product there. And subtraction in between. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 minus 15 is equal to negative 13. We can check our answer now, and we got the right answer. That's fantastic. So that's the procedure for 2 by 2 matrices and finding the determinant. The next step is to find the 3 by 3 determinants. These are much more involved, so it takes more space because the procedure is again the same, but it's not easy to compensate and work with numbers that are outside of the main diagonal. Here is the main diagonal. We can get 3 of the numbers, and then when we go this way, we can get numbers, but we've left out 4 numbers. So we need to come up with a different procedure. The procedure is to copy the first 2 columns and place them outside of the matrix so that we can capture each number. Let's take a look at how that's done. Okay, we're now going to copy column 1 and column 2 outside. Here's the 3, the negative 2, and the 4. Then the negative 4, the negative 4, and negative 2. Now we'll be able to work with this matrix and draw our diagonals in order to calculate the determinant. Top left to bottom right gets these 3 numbers. Top left to bottom right gets these 3 numbers. And top left to bottom right gets these 3 numbers. We'll use another color here to illustrate the other direction. Bottom left to top right gets those three numbers. Now we've gone up, get those three numbers, and those. So all numbers are accounted for. Let's go ahead and remember that the procedure is to multiply and then add, just as we had done before. We need to multiply on our diagonals and then add the different products. So let's start. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 times 2 is negative 24. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times 4 is negative 32. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Times negative 2 is going to be negative 8. Now going the other direction, 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Times negative 2 is positive 32. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Times 3 is negative 12. And finally here, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Times negative 4 is going to be positive 16. We've done our multiplication. Now we need to add. We also need to keep track of where these go. These numbers here are going to be the first numbers. There's our negative sign. Then we're going to put numbers here. The downsloping diagonals are the numbers that go at the beginning, and the upsloping diagonals are the numbers that go way over on the other side. So the green numbers are going to go here, and the yellow numbers are going to go here. So let's go ahead and figure out what those are. Negative 8 minus 32 is negative 40, minus 24 is negative 64. 32 minus 12 is 20. 20 plus 16 is 36. So the green number is here, 36. The yellow number is here, negative 64. And what we have now is negative 64 minus 36. You've borrowed $64, you borrow 36 more, and that equals negative 100. And that is the determinant for this 3x3 matrix. And here's just another sample of the same problem. It's exactly the same, but the equation at the end is just written here a little more clearly. All right, I hope this helps. I'll see you in class.